custom live streaming service. So we're happening.
Cool.
It's and what I'd like to do is introduce you and kind of what we're doing. This idea came to me as things do, on the weekend, and what I saw was that so much of what was coming across the airwaves was about the drama of the global thingy, and and not to belittle it in any way, just that, and I thought, well, I know people all around the world and who are experiencing their lives in this moment inside of whatever it is that's happening, and the call was really to bring those people to my community and share you and share them, and so I've been doing that. Yesterday I had my friend Alice Hong, and she was she's in Zurich, and also another buddy who's on the island, Jason McLeod, and this morning Adrian Boley, and today my friend James McEwan, and Mr. McEwan is a a chanter extraordinaire, and so much more. James and I have get to spend time together often. When we talk, within minutes, we're into the really good stuff. Isn't that true? And about the inside work, about our relationship with God, with our relationship with spirit, and how I see you is, your service to mankind is carrying, helping people to access that stillness through song, through chanting, through mantra, through through Kirtan, and so welcome today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, David. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the great intro. And yeah, it's when I got your message and got your call, it was it was good energy behind it, and it was nice to reconnect, especially during these times, of these extraordinary times that we're in, times that we that none of us have ever seen, as of now. So it's great to hear your call, and finding ways to connect in, through these podcasts or live streams, and just like you said, when we get together and talk, it kind of, there's not too much for shallow, hey, how's it going? And and it's kind of like, the real stuff comes up, talking about spirituality, talking about what really I find it's more listening, you listen and communicate and voice what the feeling or what the call is.
Yeah. Oh, we get there. So tell me, so you're in Kamloops.
Yeah.
And I haven't been in your home, but my other buddy James has been there. Says you have a beautiful home, and he thought a pretty fun life in Kamloops. And
yeah, I'm really blessed to be in Kamloops, and have a beautiful family around me, and so very, very fortunate and very blessed where I'm at, and with the people around me. So there's definitely lots to be grateful for.
So if you get a chance to look at some of the other videos that we've done the last little bit, a lot of what I'm seeing is that, in my opinion, nothing's really changed. We've never really had certainty. The only certainty that we really have is inside. It's, in in this moment, in this our connection with universal intelligence, God, Shiva, however we describe that undescribable, so I love that. That's where we go so quickly. Often is to talk about our relationship with the moment, with love, and with life, and so what I'm hoping from today's conversation is for us to help people to see that what's going on outside in a way doesn't really matter. In the big picture, we're going to be as fine as we're going to be. But what does matter is that our peace is to point people inside, to find their answers in their connection, and that's what you do with song and mantra. And you went to India, didn't you? And
a couple of years ago, went and spent some time there, and India was a great it's a great medicine, because there's so much that you can't control. You can think you have a plan, to even with traveling and where you think you're going to stay, but it was my first time there, so there's so much that you can't really you can prepare for by asking people, but it was really it was a spiritual journey that I was going on, and so I did everything I could to best equip, but nothing could prepare me really for what I was going there. My intention really was that to connect with spirit, and there was a message there, and it actually came in a dream, and in that dream I was it was one of those, it was like a lucid dream when you're like awake in a dream is so real. And in that dream I was in this river. It was like this pristine river, and so I dunked my head, and when I came back and rose out of the river, it was like this illumination of light. It was like a spiritual baptism. And when I woke up, I was in my bed in Canada, and I was like, that's India, and that's the Ganga River, and I need to go. And so it's just like a calling. And so shortly after after that, within months, I was in India, and it was an incredible trip, to listen to that call. And I think, the times right now, and I think how that can even relate to right now, it's like we can control what we can control, which is how we respond, which is who we are in stressful situations. Now, a lot of people are, with these different times, especially being different types of lockdown and staying at home, and it can seem like a little bit of an isolation for some people, and it is different. And also collectively, there's a lot of stress out there too, and I've energetically have felt it too, where it's like this this umph, and whether it's anxiety or uncertainty. And so it's kind of like being put into a pressure cooker of doing the work too. So
opportunity.
It's definitely a huge opportunity, definitely a huge opportunity for everything's like slowing down, where it's like life is going by so fast, things keep speeding up, and we can get caught up in the race, of just like going, and but now it's like globally we're having to be, slow down and stop.
We're all in retreat. This is our new retreat, and it can be a meditative retreat. It can be a retreat to reflect, to contemplate, to abide, and either way, we're staying home.
Yeah, and that's and so much respect and gratitude for the people who are working right now. Like we're fortunately in Canada, we're still, able to get groceries. We're supported in so many ways. And I just got a message from someone I met in India, and he said it's tough times there right now. Like he messaged me and said there's some days that they weren't eating because like they're on lockdown as well too. And so I was trying to get more information. There's temples and things that are going around and distributing food, but we're very fortunate where we are
Oh,
here now.
no question. Yes, no question. Yes.
Very, very fortunate. And but even here, there's people who've lost their income and are worried about how they're going to provide for a family, or and stay healthy and always during these times. So I think, yes, this is a very opportunistic time to retreat and self-reflect, but also what comes in that self-reflection is also how can we be of service of others in this time. It's how can we help while doing, we don't even having to use the word social distancing, more to physical distancing, because
Yes.
this is social, and we are social beings. So I think the ability to connect and also share our process through this, because I think we're all going through a huge process together and seeing how connected we really are. And when one person is suffering, it collects to the whole. And suffering and struggle, it's part of life, and it's part of this the spiritual journey. But how are we responding to it?
Yeah.
And if we respond from a place of fear, of panic, it's going to create more suffering.
Yes.
So that comes back into controlling what we can control. There's so many things on what's really going on out there. But when we look at what we can control, it's like we can, for the most part, we can eat healthy. We can get our rest. We can stay healthy. Even confined into our homes and getting exercise, still getting fresh air, and doing the things that we need to do to stay healthy, and reaching out and seeing how we can help our family, our friends, seeing if there's things that they need during these times, and even just making calls to maybe people that you wouldn't usually reach out to, or people that are in your circle, but just finding ways to show support. And after that talk from the friend in India, I haven't seen him for a few years or heard from him, but he contacted me. It was just like, well, how can we even help globally as well? Because we have so many privileges in Canada, but even within Canada, people are going through big struggles, but it's also globally as well too. So I think it's really taking that time to reflect, but also when we take that time to reflect, we see the interconnection between nature, between all humans, between all beings. And when it really comes down in that quietness, where we being guided to serve? Where we being guided to make a difference? And that's big part of doing the spiritual work, is quieting the mind, listening. Where is your soul? Where is your heart saying that you can help? Because you can help. Everyone has value, no matter what. Everyone can do something to make a difference. And really, that unity and togetherness, that that brotherhood, that sisterhood of mankind, we need now more than ever. And
Yeah.
this is a prime opportunity for us to come together.
So, I'm the choir. I am the choir, and and this is exactly what my message to I'm online a lot, and the message is make those phone calls, talk to your family, share the love, be the voice of love. and just call and listen. And because like you're saying, people all around us can be caught up in this, and so to call and listen and say, hey, how you doing? And I'm very fortunate. I live with some fellas. We're we're all in recovery. We're all on a spiritual path. It's the core essence of my home, and is that. And so, but lots of folks are living alone, and locally, and around the world are living alone. I think that what we're doing today has the seeds in it to help, to carry a message. Who I've been listening to a lot lately is Muji. And Muji just did a month of satsang in Rishikesh.
Yeah.
And I had friends that were there, and actually the man I spoke to this morning, Adrian Bowley, was there for the whole month, and I because Muji aired all the satsangs live.
Yeah.
I got to watch the whole month, almost every night.
Yeah.
I was there. I was closer than Adrian was, because he's in this room of 700 people or 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And and I had a front row seat through video. It was amazing, and what an uplifting. And I think that we have almost a responsibility or an obligation to give away what we've been given. You with your music and your words, you because you articulate so well, and for me, I can hum, but I and to share this and with some certainty. The only certainty that we really have is that connection that we've experienced with God, with universal intelligence, with this moment, and so that's yes, I think that we can help, and this is the way that you and I can help, is to carry this message over and over again.
Definitely. It's like the message, the core of the message, is always comes from that foundation where the message is love. How can we be love? How can we love our neighbors right now? With while respecting our health. With keeping the distancing and
mindful of the practical. Yes.
Yeah. Right. So it's incorporating both, and we have plenty of resources, from food, from money on this world, and talking to a lot of people too, and seeing there's a lot of resets happening, all over, and they're very uncomfortable, and times of change and growth are uncomfortable, and we are going through an uncomfortable time right now collectively. And I'm reminded of this story of the butterfly and the cocoon. We all know this story of transformation, but so the caterpillar goes into the cocoon, and if someone were to come over and just open the cocoon, the butterfly would die, or the caterpillar, half turned butterfly, would die. And so it takes time for that caterpillar to to grow its wings, but then also once it's grown its wings and its new parts and has evolved, it takes a struggle to break out of the cocoon, and it has to do it to build the muscle, to build the fortitude, to build the skills to be able to get out. And I feel like that's a lot what we're experiencing right now too. And what it's going to look like on the other side, no one really knows. And but what we can do is take it one step, one day at a time. And now more than ever, coming back to foundationals of spiritual practice, and which brings us back into a sense of peace, and brings us back in a sense of bringing that peace out, bringing that love without. And, you know, within our families right now, I find, you know, it could be easy to slide into negativity. It could be easy to slide. And so now we need to really put on our spiritual armor. And it's like, you know, the Bhagavad Gita is like, you know, Krishna is telling Arjuna to, you know, go out and fight. And it's not fighting a fight of, you know, physical violence, but it's using that vigor, using that strength to choose love, you know, because we all have different voices in our heads that we can choose to go to and choose to speak. But in that time of self-reflection, in that time of spiritual practice, it's cultivating that. So now, with all the time on our hands, cultivate spiritual practice. You know, you it's easy right now to you know, just kind of let time float away, but we still need to respect time too and use this time diligently. You know, so even for myself, having a discipline is huge. You know, making sure that, okay, I'm up at a certain time and meditating. Right now, it could be very lackadaisical in a lot of ways, to be like, oh, you know what, but no, it's like making sure these things are being done. And it is for me, it's a balance of like making sure that's done, but also listening to what's the soul saying that wants to be done too. You know, the creative aspect. But now is definitely a time where we can cultivate our spiritual intellect, cultivate our spiritual connection, and through books that we're guided to, through audios, and even more importantly, through practice.
So a couple of quick questions.
Yeah.
Would you share some of your practice with us? You know, I know we're gonna play, maybe singing a bit, but I'd love to hear, you know, what is your practice, if you don't mind?
Well, I meditate, you know, daily, twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, sometimes in the afternoon too. And meditation I do is Kriya Yoga. It's the meditation that Yogananda teaches. So, and then sometimes, so that's, I like to do that right before anything in the morning. And sometimes I'll chant before that. Chanting and music is really big for me. I feel that you know, it invokes an energy within myself. So, you know, just going within and chanting and chanting a mantra, and usually with my guitar. And sometimes I'll do that before I meditate to go in, or sometimes I'll go right into meditation and do that after, throughout the day. And then for me also, physical movement and exercise is really important. You know, I was a, you know, professional hockey player before, so my body, you know, it likes to move, but now it's, you know, doing things like yoga, doing things that, you know, I still exercising, getting, you know, the endorphins and getting the body moving. It is very, very important. And you know, and nutrition, diet, you know, I do a lot of juicing, like celery juice, lemon water right first thing in the morning is great for building the immune system. And, you know, so I have a whole you know, nutritional routine too, you know, with the vitamins and supplements, and making shakes with whole foods. And for me, like it all integrates into, you know, one practice, because, you know, I look at the body as a temple as well too. And the more I can keep the body healthy but in balance, not overdoing things, then you know, it becomes practice of self-love. And, yeah,
like that's, your life is a practice.
Yeah. And, you know, it's keeping myself at a vibration of health and harmony, so I can, you know, echo that out to others. That's mentally, physically, and spiritually. And, you know, with the mental and physical, it's like we purify those things through practice, you know, through chanting, through meditating. That, you know, those are key. You know, chant, meditation, and there. Those are key where we can connect. And that's spiritual practice. It is a practice of purification because our spirit is pure. What gets in the way is the mind, and which the body is an expression, is a learning tool for the mind. And so really when we can go in and purify those things, and during challenges, a lot of times, the muck will come up, and it's not easy. We can, experience these feelings, experience, very challenging thoughts, or very challenging things come up in our lives that can bring up a lot of emotion, a lot of energy. But how do we respond to that? And so, with each of those circumstances, an opportunity. And I've done Vipassana meditation and got a lot out of the Buddhist teachings as well too, and they're all very interconnected. And so with meditating, we think, oh, it's just easy to sit there and breathe and watch the breath, but once you go into a practice, the mind will try and take you out. The mind will try and say, oh, wait, no, you gotta, eat breakfast first. You gotta, do these chores first. And then you look, and you haven't meditated. It'll always try and find things. So that disciplining the mind is so key. Your mind control, self-control. That for me, that's been a key to spiritual practice. And so, yeah, the discipline and the meditation, making that,
Who would you recommend for books and teachers and I've been sharing some really accessible, like Alan Watts and Ram Dass and Muji, and I'm a big fan of Hawkins, David Hawkins, and also Eckhart Tolle is very current and actually very available right now. But who, for the folks that are watching, who would you recommend or point towards?
There's a few. A set of books that have been really helpful in my path a lot of the ones that you just mentioned, but there's Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh.
Yes.
Those are pretty epic, and I still have those on my phone all the time, and we'll just come back. But some very powerful messages in there. Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda.
The classic.
That's another really incredible book. And
I read it again last year. It was, it's changed in 25 years.
Yeah. It's every time you go read it, it's a total download, the energy that it holds, and hearing those stories. But anything from Yogananda, he wrote many books, and the masters in the Kriya lineage I find to be very very helpful and very, very pure simplified teachings. And
Yogananda's teacher was
Sri Yukteswar. So he was a guru in India, and my teacher, he comes from, he's alive in India right now, Paramahansa Pragnananda. And so he came from the same lineage as Yogananda. So he's written many books as well too. So he has a lot of things on YouTube as well. So very simple message, very, very humble message. But he's really about, discipline, disciplining the mind and dedicating that time daily to spiritual work, and then being an example of that. Not just, spiritual life isn't a life of laziness. It's being, out there of service, to mankind. And another great book is Surrender Experiment. I really enjoyed that one. That was
Michael
Singer.
Michael Singer, yes, yeah.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah.
It's a great book, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. So those are a few that I could recommend. right off the top of my head.
Nice. Well, I mean, people are looking, and I think that for us to share some of what's worked for us is important. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Another inspiring person too. Marianne Williamson. I really like a lot of what she's puts out there too. She's a powerful, dynamic,
and a big proponent of the Course in Miracles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was listening to what she was reading her book, A Return to Love, and reading it on her Instagram or YouTube actually, and just so a lot of these, a lot of you teachers now are coming out and sharing openly. There's a lot of like openly on social media, and there's a lot of free material available as well too, from audiobooks and that are read online, or just even ordering from Amazon. There's so many different options, but I really find like listen, and when you hear it, the vibration of the name of the book, or it'll do something in you, and you'll just know. And I think from all the teachers, the real teachers and masters are leading you to the guru, the master that's within you, because God is within you. God is within everybody. And so when we have that divine information, and that's a point of spiritual practice, is to go back in and listen to that, and that's available in every moment. We don't need to go and do crazy things to get this. And yeah, discipline is important, because is part of that is quieting the mind and coming into that stillness and to listen. And you might hear it as a voice, you might hear it as a feeling that is beyond feeling, is deeper, it's at the deepest root. You might hear it as a thought. God can come through an imagination, can come through in vision, but there's like this knowing, there's just like this deep knowing. And when we can get out of a mind and a stimulated nervous system where we're freaking out, nothing's going to come from that. There's more of that. So when we can calm down and then just listen, it's like, where am I being guided? Who am I being guided to talk to? What am I being guided to read? What am I being guided to share? And then just really listening. After these, when we chant, especially in a group, we cultivate so much of this energy, these vibrations. And then some of the most beautiful part is like, it's like in between, in the silence. And even when you're chanting, the mind is focused on a mantra, and it's like, you might get these visions or inspirations, but you just keep letting them pass, keep letting them pass. And then you'll know what your calling is. And when listen to it. Don't wait, don't wait to make the call. Do it. Don't, take the action. It's like, listen in the stillness, quiet, and then take the action.
My experience, and I've kind of simplified a little bit. Like, I look at my relationship with my higher power or God as a boss employee relationship.
Mm.
and so I get up in the morning, and my prayer and my meditation, I'm ready for duty, and I find that the quicker I follow through with the intuition, the quicker I respond, the more work I get. Do you know what I mean? It's I know that sounds very simplified, but so I'm I have a put me in coach kind of attitude, and my mind, I think, in some ways likes the simplicity of the concept.
Yeah.
And then I never have to worry either, because I have the best boss in the world. I have the only boss in the world. there's nothing to worry about. He looks after everything.
And that's the beauty of it, is where our minds can really overcomplicate things, because there's an infinite amount of possibilities and expressions in the world,
and none of that's my business. Do you know what I mean? I'm on a need to know basis.
Right. It's like, we can ask forever how everything was created and going through science. Science still, is, amazing things have been figured out through science, but it's still searching for answers, and still, things will be uncovered. And that, but like you said, it's like, it is simplified when you go and you listen, to your higher power, to the divine, which is in you, which is in your heart. And really simplification right now, we're being brought to a halt as a world right now to say, stay in your homes. There's been loss of jobs, people wondering, what am I going to do? We're being put in a place where we need to simplify.
Yes.
Right now, so simplify. And, I think right now too, our Mother Earth is speaking to us too, her angels, her elements, she's speaking to us. And so listening and being in harmony with her, because we're made up from the earth, and
we are her.
Yeah.
We are her. Are you going to, would you mind maybe giving us a mantra or a chant, or,
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to tell everybody that was last spring, I think, that you came to Calgary.
Yeah.
And James and I really didn't know each other. It was totally an intuition thing. And I said, come. And I think you called me because somebody in Saskatchewan had recommended, and you told me what you did. And I said, yeah, we'll make something happen. And we had a beautiful time. In the store, I still had Bali and Beyond at the time, and which we turned into a kind of a space for you to sing, and lots of folks showed up, and we did a few nights. It was great. And
yeah, that was awesome.
I was touched, and Calgary was touched by your coming. And there's a new space. Some friends of ours, Jeremy and Lauren, have a new space called the Dharma Center. And I haven't talked to them about this yet, but it would be so wonderful to have you come and chant there this year sometime, when we have a little more freedom of movement. And I see you in this space. It's beautiful, kind of a yoga studio, but it's Kundalini. They're there very early in the morning, chanting and meditating and breathing. And
that sounds good.
It is. It's beautiful, and it's your crew.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to go back to Calgary. So once we're able to get out of the house and do that, it'll be nice to connect with people in person and chant in groups.
You know what's really cool is that I think that we should all let go of the idea of ever going back to the way it was. We're going to something new.
Yeah.
This is a journey to something new, and nothing was wrong or bad about where we're coming from, or good or bad about where we're going. It's just it will be a transformed planet, in many, many ways, and the transformation, of course, happens with each one of us, and we get to lift the whole world with our own transformation, and so I see it happening.
And it's a process, and not trying to rush the process. We're like, is this done at the end of April? Then is it just be patient, let this process go, and it's like one day at a time. And things, we don't know what things are going to look like on the other end, but things are always changing, where things aren't the same as they were yesterday, and things definitely won't be the same when we come out of this, but we can use this for an upliftment, a transcendence, and that's going to come from how we respond individually in our families, in our communities, and ultimately that affects collectively. So yeah, I totally agree. It's not about things going back to normal.
Yeah.
This is the new normal right now, you know? And it's taken a little bit to set in, to integrate. Well, this is the new normal, and no, this won't be forever. And this too will pass. And so
I'm enjoying the new normal, actually. I have a beautiful room and in a beautiful home, and enjoying just going for walks and very simple.
Gratitude's so key right now. You know,
Yes.
so key to cultivate gratitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Muji the other day he's been doing some things and he talked about a mantra in the meditation, and it's a mantra that I've used so many times, and I've never heard anybody actually share it. And it was just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, a million times thank you, and not for anything. Just thank you, and just to live in that thank you. And for me, often at night, when I'm in bed, and I'll just be in that thank you. It's a beautiful space, and it's not for anything. Just thank you, and I think that's the essence of gratitude. To be in that. Thank you for letting me share that. I'd love it if you sing.
Yeah, I'll.
While you're setting up, I want to say a couple of things. I just want to mention a couple of things that tomorrow. Actually, Adrian's going to come back on at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Adrian just came back from Rishikesh, and he spent a month there with Muji and another teacher that he does satsang with when he was there. And so he's going to come on at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then a friend of mine, Puya, is coming at 11:30. And tomorrow afternoon, Malcolm Saunders. And Malcolm owns the Light Cellar here in Calgary, and is just this beautiful man. And Malcolm's going to at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And Friday, I have Alexander Ford at 11 o'clock on Friday morning. And the next, I have Alan Steinfeld from New York on Monday morning. So it's just so much fun to.
Yeah, look at that. You got a whole lineup going on, right? Like that's incredible. That's really,
And
awesome.
And everybody has a message of love that really I'm very fortunate with the folks that I get to know and have in my life, and all of the people I just mentioned, their core message is message of love. Puya, I love Puya. He's done like 8 10-day Vipassanas, and
8 in a row.
No, but
that's a lot. That's a lot if you're doing it in a row, but in a lifetime, that's good.
Yeah, he's a serious, and so just spending time with him is amazing, and we're blessed to be surrounded by, and I don't even want to call us seekers anymore. We're because we can become identified with the title. Yeah. So, what did you think you might share with us today?
This mantra is the Green Tara mantra. Is a Buddhist mantra, and so it's a mantra for protection, for healing, for compassion, and it's Om Tare Tutare Ture Svaha. And I just read something that said the Dalai Lama actually gave this mantra for these times, said it'd be beneficial to chant this, to Green Tara, the mother of compassion. And so this is to alleviate suffering mentally, emotionally, physically, and to bring protection on all these levels as well too. And so Om Tare Tutare Ture Svaha. And if you're tuning in, just close your eyes and just chant to it too. If we're connected virtually, that we can send these vibrations all throughout, and tune into your heart and chant this,
Thank you.
Tare Tutare Ture Svaha. We'll start with just 3 ohms just to get dialed in. Tare Tutare Ture Svaho. 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 Om Tare Tutare Ture Svaho. Om Tare Tutare Ture Svaho. Om Tare Tutare Ture Svaho. Tare ture svaha. Tare ture svaha. Tare ture svaha. Tare ture svaha. Om tare ture svaha. Om tare ture svaha. Om tare ture svaha. 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 Om tare ture svaha.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I think we're done. I'll be in touch. Yeah, I'll get in touch. I'd like to post maybe your YouTube channel on this, and some people get to hear you chant.
Yeah.
Okay, love you.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
It was great.
Peace be with you.
Thank you. And you.